Welcome to Teen Up, a podcast that digs deeper into the thoughts of teenagers' minds about the wonders of the world.
If you're new here, I am your host, Isabella.
And I'm Glenn. If you're not, welcome back.
Here's a quick disclaimer. If we made any mistakes, please email us and tell us. Thank you. This month, we are going in depth on mental health issues in different parts of our lives and different settings. On top of that, we will also discuss the cause and effect of these mental health problems. For the first episode, we will look at mental health in school.
Okay, so for mental health in school, I think we kind of got into it in the past episode in bullying. Because obviously it's going to be a huge toll on, the people that are being bullied.
Mm-hmm. And I think in the past episode, we really went in depth on bullying. We even interviewed someone, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're interested, definitely go listen to that. So yeah, I think we've definitely went in depth.
So if you guys want to know more about bullying, you can check out the past episodes. The next cause of mental health issues in school is abuse. I think other than bullying, most of these causes are outside of school.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning that they are not things that happen in school. So it's not like your teacher gave you a lot of homework, which can also be another reason.
Mm-hmm.
So abuse is basically physical or mental abuse from other, people, from friends or family.
Okay, so you're saying that abuse is causing issues, mental health issues, and that might affect schoolwork and school performances?
Yeah, I would say. And it's like I would say it's an extension of that,
Mm-hmm.
just like it not only is affecting your outside life, but also your school life.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the times, school counselors or school people, teachers need to deal with this type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I guess what you're saying is for mental health in school, does it have to happen in school or does it have to be caused by something in school?
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I meant. But I do believe that both of them are related school-wise.
Yeah, and I mean it's really hard to compartmentalize these things.
Yeah.
Because it is about a person and you can't really just say, oh, this is school related stuff, and after school it's totally different person,
Yeah, that's true. This reminds me of Stranger Things 4. I can't. Oh god. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I guess because it is a show made in 2022, they do talk about mental health a little bit more as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to mention that. And the fact that they're also in school, it relates to this somehow.
Mm-hmm. I would say it's more on the topic of bullying.
Yeah.
But we're not going to repeat ourselves. So I guess a better topic would be mental health for students.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be better?
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah, okay. So from now on, we're talking about mental health for students.
Sure. Sure.
So for abuse, it actually extends beyond childhood.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of research has shown that childhood abuse, even before children are in school, can cause long-term mental health issues for kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it even extends to adult life.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of articles or books that I read, it's about people that are abused during their time as a child or as an infant. I mean, 3-year-old, 4-year-old ish.
How do you know if you're getting abused when you're an infant?
I think that's the interesting thing though, because these people, some are fictional, some are actual stories.
Mhm.
These people say that they're abused when they're young, like their parents has drinking problems or other problems that they're
Mhm.
facing, and they abuse their children,
Mhm.
and maybe like physically abuse them, and they actually has like this trauma that they just like know.
Mhm. Mhm.
I've seen this documentary called "Tell Me Who I Am." It's
Okay.
actually a very interesting story. It's about two brothers, and they were abused while they were children, and like it is very traumatic for them, even though it's like 40 years ago.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think this documentary also touched on other things like memories and, you know, protecting other people or the right to know things.
Mhm.
Because just a little side note, one of the brother lost his memory, and
Oh.
so he also lost his memory of abuse.
Okay.
So it's a very interesting documentary. It's not too long, and it's definitely not boring.
Mhm. Mhm.
So I would really recommend that. Okay, so back on the topic of abuse.
Mhm.
People who experience abuse, most of them like would require counseling or support in school to ensure that they can recover from their traumatic experiences.
Mhm. I think talking about wait, just back to that trauma thing. Um I feel like trauma as an infant, it's more like a compared thing. Like you realize other kids don't have this experience as a child. And like if you accidentally talk about this to another person and their reactions are really like either scared for you or really traumatized for you, that would make you feel like you're traumatized, even though you probably didn't think like that because back then no one told you that this was something that's not normal. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think.
Yeah, true. I mean, I would definitely agree, but
Mhm.
like also some things are just like obviously wrong, like being sexually abused.
Mhm. Mhm.
Everybody would know that's wrong. I would assume, which is like not the best thing to do, but
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
hope that everybody knows that's something
Yeah, yeah,
wrong.
yeah. That's true.
So the next one is bereavement. I think it is actually very hard facing the loss of loved ones.
Mm.
Not just people, dogs, cats, fish,
Mhm. Mhm.
anything. Like just bereavement in general. I think it is very hard. Is it especially hard for children? Um, I wouldn't.
I think yes.
I think yes and no at the same time.
Uh-huh. I think one is that yes, because kids are more easily attached to things and like they're still experiencing every type of new emotions. So losing someone is probably like a new emotion for them and they've never like experienced it before, so it would be more traumatizing and overwhelming as a whole for a kid.
Yeah, but at the same time, say your great grandparents passed away when you're two, you wouldn't really describe that as bereavement.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
I mean, at least for us.
Yeah, I think like if I was thinking of about like the age of 7 or 8, but at the age of
Mm-hmm.
2, like you could basically get attached to anything.
And you don't really understand anything
Yeah,
yet.
yeah,
At the same time, I'm saying like when you're say 40 and your parents pass away, I mean, it's a whole different thing.
yeah. That's
It could be even bigger bereavement that we're facing here.
mm-hmm,
And also, it could be like at the age of 18 and your best friend passed away in a car accident.
mm-hmm.
Recently, it was just yesterday. One of my friends, she told me that her boyfriend's friend died in a plane crash.
Oh,
And he's like having trouble falling asleep at night because he doesn't want to think about the just like the image or like the idea that this person is dead.
mm-hmm,
Um So I think it is on a whole different level when you're facing death, when you're like older.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this episode is obviously not about death, but I think it is different for people at different age. So maybe for like younger children, because people are in school for like a long period of time.
Yeah.
For younger children, say 10, 12-ish,
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're facing a different type of emotion. They're being confused. They're feeling confused.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really know what actually happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I think nobody actually understands death.
Yeah, I think it's true. Like everyone's feeling and perspective of death is for sure different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this reminds me of our friend whose cat passed away the other day when she was at school. Like I don't this is not like gonna cause a really deep or really severe mental health issue for my friend, I believe. But I could tell that she has lost an animal that she loves a lot. And it's very important for her other loved ones, like her friends or her family, to support her through this loss. Or else, yes, it might cause mental health issues if it is not talked about or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is one of the biggest part of mental health issues in school that we're facing right now is that most of the time the easiest way to solve it is to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Back to this topic, people who went through bereavement, they experience a range of emotions, and if it's not dealt with properly, it can really cause like a long-term trauma or behavioral problems even. So in general, it's just like very important that people need to, keep an eye on this type of things.
Mm-hmm.
So another one that cause mental health issue is substance abuse.
Mm-hmm.
This reminds me of Euphoria.
I knew it.
You knew it.
Yeah, I knew it.
Ugh.
Oh, wait, I haven't watched it.
So I mean, I would say like it's kind of crazy. I'm not sure if Americans are like even remotely like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I hope not.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. But in the show, the main character, she's like an addict, and I think like it really plays a big part of her life that she's being controlled by drugs.
Mm-hmm.
That okay, one thing that is like weird, I wouldn't say like interesting, is that they never really talk about school in Euphoria. It's like it's non-existent.
Mm-hmm. I think it makes a lot of sense. A lot of shows don't talk about the actual school life. They talk more about the drama and everything that's happening around school.
Yeah, but like where do you got all the time,
I know, true.
Anyways, the reason that I chose substance abuse as one of these causes is because a lot of people would turn to substances, drugs, alcohol,
Mm-hmm.
when they're coping with existing mental health struggles. Maybe they
Mm-hmm.
have anxiety of something. Maybe they have depression. And they are facing these issues by using substances.
Mm-hmm.
And it can just make the issue even worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like another risk for people in school and also a sign for poor mental health.
Mm-hmm. I think for Taiwanese students, like at least not that I know of, that we have substance abuse as like a very big thing. I think it's more like smoking. A lot of students around our age would start smoking. Um, and I think it's somewhat similar to substance abuse because when they get stressed out, they would go smoke, or when like a test is coming up or anything like that, they would also smoke. I think, yes, it is just like you said, very much just them trying to cope with a existing issue that they've already been having for a while now.
Yeah, that reminds me. You remember like one of our past classmates
Mm-hmm.
like quit smoking?
Mm-hmm.
You know that.
Yeah.
That kind of shocked me.
Yeah.
I always feel like it is something that's like not that close to us,
Mhm. Mhm.
but it might be closer to us than we think.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So after the break, we're going to talk about the effects of mental health issues.
Welcome back. Now we're going to talk about the effects of mental health issues in school.
First and foremost, I wouldn't say like biggest part, but one of the biggest part of school is making friends.
Yeah, for sure.
So one of the biggest effects is definitely friendship.
Mm-hmm.
These people who are struggling with mental health issues, they can be more irritable and they would have like more emotional outbursts.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, their behaviors could be aggressive and it could make them harder to make friends,
Mm-hmm.
especially when people don't know their conditions.
Yeah, and it's harder for them to keep friendships, not just like make new ones, but also keep friendships. Because when, like, I'm not like generalizing all situations, but for a lot of times it's that people with issues, they tend to like hide it from their friends and, try to like, I don't know. I think this is also a part of like trying to fit in and not be weird or something. Or they would like push away people who actually care about their mental health issues, those who actually want to help them.
Yeah. I definitely understand what you're saying. These friendship issues, I would say like it can cause a lot of trouble
Mm-hmm.
because at least to me, going to school is not just learning. It's about socializing.
Yeah, for sure.
And human as a social animal relies on socializing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's going to lie about that because it's true that everybody needs to socialize, at least most people.
Mm-hmm.
And it is a big part of our life, talking to other people, you know, having interactions with different people.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are being, say, bullied or being bullied because of these mental issues, I think the problem of this is that it can kind of fall into like a vicious cycle. It's like you have a pre-existing condition,
Mm-hmm.
and then that condition, you know, causes some behavior anomalies, you know,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily bad, but different behaviors. And these behaviors get you bullied, say,
Mm-hmm.
by
Mm-hmm.
your classmates, which is definitely not the right thing to do, but it happens.
Mm-hmm.
And then the bullying will make the whole thing worse.
Yeah, wait, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Like, I see a lot of movies or books, they would talk about like autism, or like back then when I was in elementary school, there was this kid from my class. He has ADHD, I think. Anyways, he was like very different from other kids in our class. I remember one time, okay, this is just like a side story. It was in 5th grade, and he sat next to me. Like, I don't know if ADHD was his only condition, but like we were in class. He literally lied down on my lap, and I was like super confused. And our teacher was like calling his name, like, get up, what are you doing? But anyways, yeah, it makes sense that like I said, I think this also has to do with fitting in or things like that, because when you're already dealing with like a condition, it's hard for you to fit in and feel the same as other kids. And especially that in schools, there's a lot of peer pressure. Like, I think that's like a super huge thing in school. I mean, I believe this is the same as like in the adult world or something like that. But I think in school, when we're all still developing and trying to find out like who we are very easily changed by our classmates or by what others think.
Yeah. And I would say like understanding is definitely the biggest part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Some understanding, it is way easier to make this situation better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And beside causing issues for friendship, like we said, these mental health issue can also cause behavioral problems. We also like touched on this, but I think I would say like friendships, behavioral problems, these two like kind of go hand in hand because like you said, like the kid that sit next to you, if he does that to you, like other people might be saying like, oh my god, he's so weird. And some people would start all kinds of rumor. People start all kinds of rumor about others. And that is definitely not going to help with the situation.
Yeah.
Not to say that it's the right thing to do. We're just pointing out that these type of behaviors should be unacceptable. Also, behavioral problems and friendships. These two affects each other, and it kind of forms its own cycle in a way. Another effect is school attendance. For a lot of children, when they're struggling with mental health issues, they would just skip school or call in with physical illness. And this is definitely not going to help with their learning because we all know that, going to school is very important. Especially, I'm not like putting labels on anyone or anything, but say one kid is being abused at home. Maybe this person's parent is alcoholic and their family is not in like a great condition. I mean like financially or other aspects, all kinds of things. This kid need to go to school to be taken care of, and these school teachers or counselors can help with his or her food for the very least. This person would have at least one meal a day. And these other adults at school can also like keep an eye on him so that make sure his conditions are not like bad or worsened, So it is actually very important for these people to go to school. Not that I'm putting label on anyone. It is just a condition that exists. So I would say like for these issues, the solution, not that we're trying to like save the world or anything.
We don't really have any solutions. Honestly, I think, like you said, understanding is really an important thing that a lot of kids lack when they're still in their attending school phase.
Yeah.
I think in the adult world, these issues aren't as prominent. I mean, it's still an issue, of having like mental health issues. It's just because that adults are more understanding and some would take the time to actually learn about these things while kids don't really care and they would want to, go with the norm or like bandwagon other people's thoughts
And make fun of people.
Yeah.
And I think these type of things can only be dealt with when they happen, There isn't really any ways to prevent it from happening.
It's like you're sentencing a death sentence.
I mean, not really though. I mean,
if you're gonna get laughed at, you're gonna get laughed at.
No, that's not what I meant. I'm just saying like when these things happen, maybe teachers should like stand up more, or these type of things can be discussed. And especially when kids are older, I would say sometimes these things cannot be dealt with because children will not like listen. It's fact. And I think like if these trauma like carries on through their life, it can like worsen over time. But if say something happened during like 6th grade and this person doesn't feel right about it and is traumatized by it, and by the time that they're in like 11th grade, they met some teacher that actually talked with them about it and they deal with it properly and face their emotions, I think it would be better than to like let it brew in you for 20 years.
Yeah, until you have a breakdown. This reminds me of Heartstopper. For those who haven't watched it, which is ridiculous, go watch it. It's a super cute series. It really doesn't have much plot, but it's a very cute series. Like in it, like the main character, should I spoil it? It's not really like a spoil thing. Like, he was bullied before, and there was a character within the series that, like, a teacher, like more like a guidance to him, that was able to create a safe space for him, for the main character. And I think that is super important, and all schools should have those type of teachers.
So overall, we just think that it is important to raise awareness, at least to these issues. And next week, we're going to talk about mental health in families.
Thank you for listening to this episode.
We will upload a new episode every Thursday.
Remember to like, follow, and share our podcasts with your friends and family. You could also share your idea and thoughts with us on our Instagram at teenup.podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our channel. Thank you and bye.